Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Expert Dialogue podcast by Precious Kalu. And on today's show, I have the pleasure of hosting a business visionary, Dr. Ifeanyi Akaleme. He has a unique blend of academic excellence and industry expertise. Dr. Ifeanyi is a business strategist, data analyst, and researcher who is revolutionizing the way we think about business growth and transformation. Holding a PhD in marketing and communication, an MBA, and a degree in environmental engineering. Dr. Ifeanyi brings a diverse perspective to the table. And with over a decade of experience driving change in industries like banking, telecommunications, and energy, he is now on a mission to empower young people across Africa through Afrocapitalism and mindful investments. So get ready to learn from Ifeanyi and just stay tuned to the end of this podcast because we have a lot of things to share and I hope you're going to find them insightful. So, Dr. Ifeanyi, thank you so much for joining. How are you doing today?
I'm really very well. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on this dial. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Actually, I have lots of questions to ask you, and I'm very sure our viewers are going to find this session insightful. So, how does your personal experience actually shape your approach to what you're doing at the moment?
Okay, I know a lot about my story and how I started. I started my journey serving people, right, as a
Yeah.
houseboy, right, and that really changed or really shaped my perspective about life.
Hmm.
And I got to understand early enough that life is about serving others, right? Life
Yes.
is about service, right? The a journey of slavery, right? I had to gradually turn that into a gold mine for me. I remember that one of our guests then that I served was the person who made sure I got admission, was the person who made sure I went into the university after my guardian said then that he was not going to support me. And it was because I
Wow.
was exceptional with certain, right? And that is what a lot of young people today have missed or have neglected or don't know, and that starting from that part of my life, right, really has shaped who I have become because every opportunity I see to serve people becomes an opportunity to grow, right?
Yeah.
That is a quote I like so much. It says, if you want to get to the top, then help a lot of other people get to the top, then you'll be at the top. If you want to get help, then help a lot of people, right? It essentially has made me a person who looks out for where I can lend a hand, where I can support, even in my workspace, right? My personal brand and all I do is to see the gap, right, and see how
Yeah.
they feel it. And why in that gap, you essentially provide them value, right? And what value does is that it attracts quality funds, attracts quality relationship.
That's
It
true.
attracts finance, money, funding, right? And that is where a lot of young people have missed it. We all want to take, we all want to, all want to be helped, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we do not realize that going out there to make someone feel better or someone help somebody, lend a hand, just do it without asking for anything, right? Is one
Yes.
of the best way to access growth. So that is the experience that actually gave birth to everything I do today, right?
Hmm.
Whether offline or online or anywhere I am, right? It's about helping people, right? And that has attracted pretty much kings and queens to me and brands, global brands that I now associate myself with. I'll end it here. Thank you.
Wow, like you've really shared because I know I've heard of this story before, but many people have not heard you talk about it like person to person. Probably they've just read it as a text or something. I mean, you are really a business visionary, and I admire all your impact and everything you're doing. And how is this your journey? How, like, what's the purpose? What really made you to start helping other people, like in terms of young Africans and what you're doing at the moment?
Okay, one of the biggest threats that Africa have is poverty, and
Mm,
it is not lack of skill or lack of
mm-hmm.
intelligent people, but it is poverty, and it has so much impoverished the system that even the political elites like use that as a tool to maneuver the entire system, right? And that
Yes.
can be seen across the African leadership ecosystem, not just Nigeria. And it is one of my visions, right, to empower young people to begin to rethink how they can come out of poverty. I most times say that, poverty gave me a finger, right? So I know how it feels to really not have anything. I mean, anything at all. When you have parents who are sick, or you have a family member who needs help, and it's
Yes.
because you don't have access, to that help, you cannot render the help, and you watch the person get ill, you watch the person die, right, on your feet, on your hands, on your laps, and then you could have something could have been done, right? There were
Yeah,
solutions that you have accessed if there were money, if you had the money to do that, but
that's
because you
true.
didn't have that access to money or cash or funds, then you see yourself, losing deeply, crashing down, things going, going with beyond your control because you do not have money to solve those problems. And when I look out into the society today, not just the Nigerian society, but the African society or the Pan-African
Mm-hmm.
society, all I
Mm-hmm.
see is the number of people who have been impoverished, right? By the system, right? And not just because they don't have the capacity to create wealth,
Yeah,
right? Because the system itself subjects you to a kind of poverty that you might not, if you are not very strategic and very careful, you might not be able to come out from it. So that formed that passion, right, to really help a lot of
wow.
people. I've seen it, I've experienced it, I have been through it, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
understand how it feels, and I know that a lot of people are in that shape,
Yes.
in that condition, right? And my focus, right, my dream is to use the vehicles available to us, like the digital ecosystem, like ideas, opportunities that you can access through
Yeah.
mindful engagements, like we are having now, opportunities to learn and unlearn, opportunities to become a better person that can really give you access to the boardroom, to tables, to places where you can begin to advocate for those
That's
changes you want to
right.
see. And that's exactly
Yes.
what has formed the visions that I have, the brand that I drive, the opportunities that I provide and I make available for young people. And I hope that it continues and it continues to expand. Thank
Wow,
you. So
like this is really like, because what you just said is the major challenge that some young Africans are having. Somebody will have a business idea or something to do and lack of funding and don't have money. And maybe even if they bring the idea to someone else, you see that idea being used against their wish because they don't
mhm.
have the capacity to push through. And thank you for the work you're doing. How do you really measure the success of what you're doing at the moment? Like, are there people who have really been impacted, or people who have benefited from this?
Mm. Fantastic. So my biggest driver is education, and
Yes.
my advocacy for quality education is on the on the upward radar, right? So what I want to
Mm-hmm.
do is to push that even to the global level, right? And ensure that every single person that comes in contact with me or my brand understands that they should daily seek to be educated. And it's
That's
simple.
true.
You can just be reading a novel, you can just be reading a book, you can just even just be watching a movie that impacts your ideation, your ideology, your school of thought, how you see, your perspective about life. So it can just be something that is around you that you might not need to go so far to get. It might just be reading newspapers or reading a magazine or interacting with somebody, but we should really put in the efforts, right, to get educated in this part of the world. And I have started that, doing that over the past couple of years, and I've seen the impact, right? I've seen a lot of people have gone through a lot of different levels of education,
Yeah.
from reading my article, from reading my story. Yesterday, I met a guy who all the way from up country, stays in Mina, and right now he's in Lagos. And when he saw
Hmm.
me, he was amazed. And it was because he enrolled into one of the educational programs that I promote. And he
Wow.
said after that, he, with the boldness, the confidence that he gave him, and also the confidence that I share, he had to apply for a role in Lagos in their head office, and he got it. He got it. He was amazed. He was shocked, but he got it.
Wow.
That's thing that getting quality education does for you. It gives you that confidence that when you walk into any room, you can defend yourself, you can defend what you have, you can let people understand your thoughts and your personality and what you believe in, and
Mm-hmm.
promote that over the past couple of years. I would say over 100 to 200 people, right, have been impacted positively, and
Wow.
I could measure the results because that has affected me personally. A lot of the people who professionals who are in my network are people who I have helped. I'm talking about MDs of companies and CEOs and people who have impacted my life, right, positively. Currently, I have a contract that I've signed with Lagos State that is starting tomorrow.
Wow.
Is just from somebody who has read my stories consistently, who has been impacted by what I do, and he said, "No, this guy is the best person for this job," right?
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes a community, an ecosystem, an environment to thrive for both the person who has been helped and the person who is being helped, right? And the person who is helping. And remember what I said when I started. I said if you want to be helped, just help a number of people. Go out there
Yes.
to, help as many people as you can find, and it's kind of going to make you, the thought leader in quote, the person who brings opportunities and,
Of
access to
course.
opportunities and value to people. And by adding value, you're essentially adding value to yourself. And I can confidently say and confidentially say, I know that this is going live on YouTube, that since 2022, when I started this journey and my brand became, a lot out there, I've not had to apply for jobs. I've not had to
Hmm.
seek for contracts. They just come on their own. I have had to reject a lot of opportunities and say this is not what I want at this time. Just 3 weeks ago, a company called me to come and become a general manager for their their arm in Port Harcourt. It was
Yeah.
doubled what I'm being paid currently. But I looked at it and said, no, I don't want to relocate from Lagos. And that is because I built that ecosystem. I told the man, if you want me to work with you, consider a place in Lagos for me. And that is
Yeah.
it. So, you essentially are going to migrate into that place where
Mm-hmm.
you have become the solution provider, right? So people
Yes.
come to you with challenges to provide solution for, right? And then you earn from it, and they adore you in quotes because they are not coming to you because essentially need their money. They will offer you money, right? The contract from
Yeah.
Lagos State, they had to say no, 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 you have to take this, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm negotiating for. And when I look deep down inside me, I said, Ifeanyi, this value is really high, and you are still
Oh,
negotiating. This offer is high,
yeah.
and you're still negotiating. So that's how it happens, right? And I'm really enjoying the benefits of what I've built so far. And I know that it is not something difficult for
Mm-hmm.
people to jump into. All right, thank you.
Wow. Like, so you're saying that visibility is actually very important here.
Yes, very, very
And
important.
what if maybe somebody do not have the opportunity to travel to places like Lagos, like where opportunities are big? Like, is it possible to still be where you are and provide value, and people will still see you?
Of course, is a digital economy, and I'm a big proponent, right, of the digital economy. I'm a big fan, right. So right now, 70 to 80% of the brands I work with are in the United States and the UK,
Mm-hmm.
right? A lot of the big brands, personal brands I work with. I have a guy in Germany that I still work with, and somebody in Switzerland that I work for.
Okay.
So it's not about location at this
Mm-hmm.
time, right? It's about positioning. It's about realizing
Yes,
that just by having access to an electronic device, right, your phone, your laptop, your tab, gives you access to uncountable opportunities. I mean, limitless opportunities, right?
that's right.
And just like this podcast is projecting, people need to come to a
Yeah,
place where they learn and they know how to use these tools that are available to engineer their success, right? And
that's
that's
true.
what a lot of people neglect. When people come to me and say, "Oh, I need a job. I need a job. I've stayed 3 years. I've stayed for 2 years, and I don't have a job. I'm suffering." I quickly go dive into their digital footprints, go review their profile. What have you done in the last 1 year? Who have you helped? How have you volunteered, right, in the last 1 year? Which programs have you been to? Have you attended an audio event? Have you had one? So, what are you doing with your time essentially? And
Mm-hmm.
doing these things and positioning yourself is simple. There is something you know. It could be as little as how to cook, how to clean, how you polish your shoe, how you take care of your
Exactly.
hair. A lot of these
Yeah.
things that you do, and people say, "Oh, your hair, that's nice. Your shoe, your clothes." It can form part of what you prepare and project and use it to position yourself. Companies are looking for problem solvers. People are looking for who will take them out of their struggles. Maybe your write-ups or the skills that you have acquired, and you put it together. You mustn't get a job where you will use that
Mm-hmm.
skill. It might be teaching somebody else that skill that will take you to the next level, right? So,
Wow.
you shouldn't wait till you have all the opportunities. You can start from where you are and use it as a vehicle. I remember when I lost my job in 2021, it became a vehicle, right, to rediscover myself, right? I realized that I could do much more, right? Then it was just
Mm-hmm.
9 to 5 for me. I didn't know that there was a lot of opportunities in the digital space. So I had to begin to search, and I realized that okay, there are things that I could do off the digital space, that can allow me
Mm-hmm.
to earn even higher than my job. And that year, I spent a whole year without 9 to 5, and I earned my highest income that year, right? The year
Wow.
I had the first biggest payment a month payment, right, that was in 7 figures, and I was shocked, right? And ever since then is that it has been, oh, you sleep at night and alerts are hitting your phone. It's interesting, right, that you do not need to wait to the end of the month before you earn, that you can actually position yourself for people, for brands, for businesses, and then they come to you, and you help them solve their problems. You earn while doing that.
That's true. That's true. So, like, you
Okay.
have communities of connected people. How do you really know, or how do you stay connected with maybe their challenges or maybe the needs at the moment? Maybe following the trends or what's happening around. How do you follow up with them?
All right. So one of my biggest platforms has been LinkedIn, right? And because of the voice I have, I'm able to feel the pulse of
Mm-hmm.
people. I know I know when it is right to share particular content or insight, or throw open and a content that allows people to reach out to me.
Yeah.
And what I do, what I've done is to create access, to people having dialogues, interaction with me, whenever there is a need for that. And I've also created platforms for mentorship, mentoring young people, and that has happened for over the last 3 years, right?
Wow.
So it's it's an environment that you would you would meet people who are in need daily. A lot of people don't have jobs, and my trend in the last 1 month has been giving people access to inspirational content and also job opportunities. And I'm consciously evolving my brand to that one that gives access to people who are
Mm-hmm.
jobless, who are hopeless, who don't think there's a next place to go. And because I've started that, collaborations have started coming, right, from my company and from the brands that I represent, and from even the collaboration with Lagos State that is coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are going to have a lot of startups and young people pitch their ideas, and right there on the spot they get
Amazing.
opportunities to
Wow.
investment. We are going to be able to empower people, and it is something that really aligns with what I promote. So a lot of opportunities are going to come for people, and the question I ask again and again is, are you ready? Are you
Mm-hmm.
ready? Can you dance? Right? When the rhythm comes a play, can you dance? Can you dance? I always ask that question. It's a marketplace. Can you dance? You have dance steps. You can't start learning a dance when the music is on already. You need to know your dance steps, right?
Of
So
course.
young people should prepare. Prepare ahead of time. I just before our call, I interacted with a young man who said he wanted to enroll at Nesford, and I asked, "Do you have?" I just had to literally when I saw he said he just lost his mom, mom demise out of cancer, and I had to change the conversation, and I started asking him, okay, what do you do at the moment? You have a job? I asked him, he said he didn't have a job at the moment. Okay, he was teaching in a school before now, and I said, okay, what skills do you have? He said he hasn't had any opportunity to learn any digital skills. I said, okay, do you have a laptop? And he said the laptop had an issue and he should be repaired. And I said, okay, tomorrow take this laptop to a place where it will be repaired and let me know what it would take. Right. So
Yeah.
it's about having an air and knowing that what you now represent as a brand is a brand that should essentially help people and empower people. And that is what
Mm-hmm.
I have always done in my little way, whether it's knowledge sharing, whether it's lending a hand of a help, or whether it's advising or mentoring, right? That is what this the Nigerian and the African environment need currently, because I would say that even for the young people, our leaders have failed us and they continue to fail us. So we need to begin to create opportunities for ourselves and also rethink those opportunities on a global scale, really.
Wow,
Thank
that's
you.
right. That's right. You mentioned Oxford University, and I know I'm part of the beneficiary of, their amazing learning system and everything. I can recommend them anytime, any day. In fact, I went for their boardroom ready series summit. I think that was last weekend, last Friday, and it
Mhm.
was so impactful. So you are a Nextford ambassador. How is that really? Because I know there are some people, as you mentioned, Nextford, there are people that would maybe want to know more and come to you to get started.
Hmm. Fantastic. Okay, so Nesford is 100% online university and is a United States university that brings the same standard of learning that is available in some of those Ivy League universities like Harvard, like Stanford, like Oxford, like Cambridge, that we all dreamt, of attending, right? So,
Of course.
and it's a university that promotes future-proof learning. So you are
Mm-hmm.
coming to gain skills that are not just useful to you for the present, at the present, but are useful to you in the near future. And we
Yeah.
know what AI has done and generative AI. If you guys know Chat GPT and the rest of them and what they are doing, they are they are changing the job ecosystem, right? If you are unskilled, in any way digitally today, you would be left behind, right? And that is one of the opportunities that Nestford gives people access to. Apart from that, it's also an ecosystem that allows you to interact with others on a global scale. So it's a community where Netflix has succeeded in transcending from building not just a learning platform to a community-based university where you can interact with other learners and you can have access to opportunities. And it's really important for people to define and say this is what I want. I've been able to do an MBA and move to a PhD, and I did
Yeah.
that in 4 years, right? So
Wow.
it's important to know what the environment offers you, what the society offers you. It's global now, it's digital now, and you can really access opportunities and put yourself on a global scale, right? When you kind of leave behind the conventional or traditional thinking that limits your achievements, right? I know
Yeah,
that I needed
that's
to
true.
be a thought leader within the shortest possible time, but I knew that following the Nigerian educational traditional system would actually keep me, going rerouting for so long. So you reroute through, and there will be strikes. There would be wastage of time, and you are spending. I saw a guy who spent 7 years doing his PhD. And I was like, wow. So does it make you
That's
better?
really long.
Does it mean that you have learned the things you learned in the first 3 years? You would have forgotten them before you finished.
Hmm.
We are humans. You would have
Wow.
changed jobs, you would have changed your orientation about things would have changed, right? And that's why education should be fast, right? I don't think you need a whole year to learn a skill. If
Yeah.
you're going to learn any skill, and even if it's coding, the hardest form of coding, right? You can use 3 months to do that, and you are very good,
Wow.
very sound. Invest the time, invest the time, put in the effort. You will learn it. Shaping
Mm-hmm.
a skill,
Of course.
right?
Of
Allow me
course.
to use that language, right? You will learn it,
Because
right? And you would move, right? By the time you've learned, you know that you have moved. When I finished my MBA, I realized that my earning jumped to over 400% of what it used to be, and I can walk into a room and say, "This is what my budget is. If you're not paying me
mm-hmm.
5 million, I'm not taking the offer. If you're not paying me a 2 million, I'm not taking the offer because I have it and I can defend it, right?" And
Of
that's what
course.
the digital space, what it means to investing in it. And you will have footprints, you know, you will have footprints, because it's there. You can't delete it. It's in the cloud. You can't delete it. You can't remove. You can't lift it. People can trace it, right? These days, brands and companies no longer need to say bring your hard copy CV,
Mm-hmm.
hard certificates, right? The job that I got last week, I didn't have to submit any CV. I didn't have to give any certificate. It was just my digital footprint that was used, my brand on LinkedIn, right? So I don't know. I don't know. It still sounds like we are joking about this thing. It is not.
It's
It is no
true.
longer a joke. It is real, and it is happening, right? If companies like Paystack, Flutterwave are making billions of dollars, why can't you do that? If companies are saying no, we need to have a media manager, we need to be present in all the social media spaces. Why not you? Why don't you promote your personality, your person, right, and get those opportunities, right? So this is the time, and Nestford presents a lot of those opportunities. So you can inquire and then you can join us.
Wow. Education and a skill. Like these are two powerful things that you need because you can't have an excuse of why you can't get any of them, at least to start with. And
Mm-hmm.
this session is really insightful. Before I ask the next question, to my viewers, I hope you are enjoying the session and kindly like this video, share it to everyone you know because they need to benefit from this session. So, if I talked about Africapitalism, when I was introducing it. And there are people that don't really know what it is really. Can you share a little bit of that and what was the purpose that you created that?
So Afro-capitalism is one of the concepts, promoted by my mentor, Tony Elumelu, and I'm proud to call him
Oh,
a mentor because He has done a lot of things that has impacted my life, and I am a person who has followed his footsteps. And I like people who are bold, people who are aggressive in whatever they are doing. And it helps me a lot because that is exactly what I do. People don't realize or don't maybe know that I'm a person who is very, very, very stubborn, like I would say in a positive way. When it comes to my work and the things that I do, and when I come into the workspace or into any environment, my job, I take it, overly serious because I
Mm,
know what I have, what I carry, and I know that I have very limited time, to offer value. So I don't
that's
allow
true.
anything to get in my way. And that is one of the characteristics that, Tony promotes, right? So Afri-capitalism is a capitalist system, like
Okay.
you have in the USA, in the Europe, that
Mm-hmm.
empowers young people. And he started that concept, and I had gone to study. I studied a lot about what he has done. Started through the Tony Elumelu Foundation, and it's all about empowering people and giving people access to finance for their business. Not just that, providing mentorship and providing access to information, access to data, right? Apart from money, right? One of the things
Mm-hmm.
that the African leaders have done successfully, or I mean, the West and whatever they promote or they present has done successfully, is to make sure that young people in this part of the world are impoverished, you know,
Mm,
um, on information, right? They will have limited access to information. Thank God for digitization, but we have really being impoverished, in terms of information. There are things that I know now that, if I have not known those things, I wouldn't be where I am today. And a lot of people still don't know. And our educational system is so bankrupt, it's not supportive. We recycle the same materials over and over again, right? So the system, the Afri capitalism is, number one, provide a platform where young people can gather, and learn and refine their ideas and then get access to funding, right? And one of my biggest dreams, right, is to be a person who funds businesses, who funds
mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs, who funds startups, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen that, coming to reality, coming to pass, and that is why I promote it, with all my energy and all the passion that I have. And it's from the standpoint of, knowing that whatever I am and whatever I should become is from the platform of helping people, and not being religious, but God actually told me that the only way I'm going to shine as a star is to make a whole lot of other people shine as stars. And that
That's
forms
true.
everything I do as an orientation, right? Everything I do, it forms my perspective, forms my ideology, it shapes my personality. And that is
Mm,
essentially what Africa capitalism promotes. And I'm really investing in that. I did a research um, that speaks to the entrepreneurial orientation of young graduates in Nigeria, and I was able to find out that it is not funding that is the biggest challenge that we have. It's actually the mindset of young people.
mm,
Not every young person will have the capacity or the thought or the willingness, to sacrifice to start this kind of venture you have started. A lot of young people deny themselves opportunities because they lack the mindset, the willpower, not the
mm,
physical power, but the willpower to really start, to really invest in something for a long period of time, right? And for anybody to succeed in anything, it's going to be consistency. Amazon built for a decade without profitability, from 1992 to about 2000 and without. But Amazon is one of the biggest, companies in the world today, and it speaks to consistency. Apple that we celebrate today, once in a lifetime, sacked their co-founder, you know,
Mm.
and they were going down bankrupt. They were losing it. They were losing out to people like Microsoft and Dell, right? But they eventually bounced back because they stayed. So one of what the capacity and the skills or the tenets that young people in this part of the world lack is the ability to continue, on a course over a long period of time. Right? People tend to seek the easy way out, and that is why cyber crime is on the high. That is why people do a lot of crime to get money, and it is not helping because in the long run, you make money that you don't have the capacity to keep, right? So you lose that money and you start the cycle all over again. And that is why there is high increase in crime. Nigeria still ranks very high in terms of corruption and crime. And it's because people here have refused to channel the same willpower they use for the short-term goals into long-term goals, right? And
Wow.
and essentially what we are promoting on that platform. And I hope people would begin to get the message, in the shortest possible time. All right,
Wow.
thank you. Mhm.
You've said a lot of things about that.
Mhm.
So you mentioned one time about the creator economy and creator
Mhm.
visibility. Now, how do you really
Mhm.
think businesses can leverage this to drive growth?
All right, so it's a creator's world, and because we have platforms now that allow us to create, and it's like have said before, is a digital economy that we are in now, right? Is the that's the century's biggest economic platform, and the only way that any business can tap into this is to start creating, right? And I know
Hmm.
that it is not so many organizations that hasn't become, a department or a vision or a strategy for them. But if you have a business and you are not yet the digital space, it's not about having a social media page, and it's not about um, designing flyers and posting, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to start engaging content creators, right, who understand the psychology behind content, who
That's true.
understand the the who can fit in, who can plug in the missing nuts and screws, into whatever you want to create or what you want to push out, right? A lot of people have studied, the atmosphere of the digital ecosystem. So they understand, not just when people worry about algorithm, I laugh because all right, so the algorithm, the way it plays, a lot of people have understood it that they understand how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to, use this, as an opportunity to say, hey, if you are building anything, whether it's a startup, whether it's you have a company, you have a brand, or you are launching a new product, right? It is time for you to engage a content creator, right? And that is
Yeah.
why people like Precious, yeah, you can reach out. You can really reach out to people who understand how to not just throw anything outside there, but understand who understand what it means to create, what the journey it should be like, what the content feel, the content tone, the feelings, people who know the pulse of the market, you can
Yeah.
really achieve massive results, by putting out the right content at the right time. And that is what a lot of us have enjoyed, and the brands who associate with us, have enjoyed. Some of those I was working with, a brand, and yesterday I told them, see, you don't have the right content, you don't have the right, this is not the right material, for this job that we want to do. We need to fine tune it. So it is time for um businesses to leverage, these vehicles, right, and begin to say, hey, we need to hire a content creator, we need to hire a social media manager, we need to do something differently about our space. It's not just about creating, flyers and put it out there, creating, all manner of content, and then that won't attract value. But you can really, and when you do that on your own, for 1 month, 2 months, and there is no result, you tend to say, no, this is not working. No, it's because you are not
Mm-hmm.
doing it the right way. And I also
Yeah.
advise, people who are just starting and you don't know how to go about it, for your personal brand, you can work with somebody who is experienced, you can work with a creator, you can get insights, somebody can really model your journey, until the time you are able to you understand and you are able to carry on from there. So it's a space where if you get it right, right, you are not going to seek for opportunities. Opportunities will come to you. People will understudy your digital footprints, and they either bring businesses or come do business with you, or come buy your product, or come buy from you, or come set up some form of partnerships with you. This is that time, and let's not smooth.
That's right. That's right. Because
Mm.
anything can be content, whether video, text, photo,
Yeah.
whatever. But then the
Mm.
wrong content cannot give you the result.
Yes.
So either you learn how to do it or you hire somebody to do it. And that is
Yeah.
just how it is. So lastly, I would really love you to like give us just for the young entrepreneurs and businesses who are looking to uh, make an impact in Africa and beyond. What advice are you going to give them?
Okay, so my biggest advice is start. So I have something that is called the Star Project,
Hmm.
right? And I always say that stars don't beg to shine, right? So the moment you realize that I need to go out there, I need to put myself on the spot. It's not easy, right? It's not easy. It comes with its shocks, right? So it's a journey that you need to prepare for, right? The moment you are light, you will not just shine, right? You will attract pests, right? You will attract, flies will come to you because things that you didn't think would happen would happen, right?
Wow.
Um, you would in your on your journey, you would face a lot of distractions will come, but before you can start even experiencing that, you need to start. So a lot of people are confused and are saying, is this it or is this not it? So you need to take that bold step, into it and say, I am starting, right? And walk your journey, right? And the time you start, you are going to, be able to navigate through that part. And the second thing is own your journey. Start, own your journey, and also know the reason why you decided to start. Right? It might not because of okay, it's either driven by passion or driven by the fact that you want a change, right? Either in your personal life or in the society. But one thing is important. Before you can talk about making impact, you have to make money first, right? So, and you need to create those opportunities for yourself that will make you money. Now, this at this time, you do no longer need to wait for opportunities, right? Because
Yeah,
you can create those opportunities yourself.
exactly.
Like even if you don't have a job, if I decide to say today I'll dress up, I'll go to a nearby school, a nearby hotel, and I say I want to be sweeping your compound every day 2 times a week. I'll sweep it, and I'm not asking for any payment. That can even become a content for you to sell. And why doing that? I just thought of it. Why doing that? A parent that is rich might work, and I say, wow, well, you are doing this job. Do you have a certificate? I had a hangout with a senior colleague in on Friday, right? And she noticed a young man that was so active that one of the bartenders, this guy is smart, and she quickly told her assistant, ask him if he has a CV, if he has any form of CV after now.
Wow.
He can be a good marketer. He can be let's get him a job. So it has come to that place where you can't say you lack opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you can say is that you are not prepared for opportunities,
That's
right?
true.
Because opportunities are around you, opportunities are with you, right? There has been a trending video with this trend. and people get help from those friends, or people who are genuinely, working hard and trying to say, no, I can't, I can't be down, I can't be poor, I can't. So don't limit yourself. There
Mm-hmm.
you have limitless opportunities. Even if it is one skill that you have, do not neglect the power that skill can give you. Even if it's just to work on Excel, do PowerPoint presentation, use the Microsoft Word, you have a skill, right? And you can start implementing and start executing with that skill. And as you go on the job, you'll be able to acquire other skills, that would
Mm.
help you to fly. But if you do not start, you will not be able to have the experience, tell yourself, okay, I tried it. Start and let it be that it even failed. It becomes a story,
Yes.
right? So people
Yes.
fear failure, right? And that is why they don't start.
Mm.
And when you don't start, you can't have the experience, you can't tell the story, and you can't, fly. You can't then move to the next level. So it's
That's
important to
true.
start and continue on the journey. And then you will see that help will come, opportunities will come, and then you will make the required value from all your investments and all your efforts.
Wow. Because when you don't even start, you won't even know the journey. You won't even know the process or the steps.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you are just hearing it as a story, but you're not experiencing it, and
Mhm.
you're still stuck in the same level. Mm,
Mhm.
this is
When you
amazing.
shed those night tears of things not working the way you have planned it, then you go back to the drawing board and say, no, no,
Yes.
no, I can be better. When you go for
Mm-hmm.
the presentation and you flop, right? You know that, okay, I took a step, I flopped, I failed. This is one, two, three things I did wrong. I didn't do well. I can go back to them, to the drawing board, and say, okay, I can do it better. I'd failed so many times. I lost opportunities so many times. And each time I fail, I go back to say, even if you don't go back, your instincts will keep telling you, guy, this is where you got it wrong, right? And
Yes.
the next time you have that opportunity come, you're going to hit it and you're going to land that job or that contract or whatever it is. But you will surely get it better. My journey on the social media space hasn't been this fantastic. It's because you keep going to plug and play, recycle, try and try and try and try again and try again until you get it right, right? And when you
Mm-hmm.
don't try, you wouldn't know what you are doing wrongly or what you have done right. But once you get it right, you can start repeating the same formula over and over again, and it
Yeah,
keeps
that's
getting you the
true.
results, more and more results. So that is
That's
it.
true. Wow,
Mhm.
thank you so much. I know I said this was the last question,
Okay.
but do you have any services or things you'd like to share for people that want to work with you, enroll in your programs?
Okay, so I have a brand on LinkedIn, the Ifeanyi Inspires brand. So you can reach out to me for mentoring, for partnerships, for brand influencing and brand promotions. I have a lot of communities offline where people gain insights into entrepreneurship. I've been able to mentor a lot of people, and that can become a opportunity for businesses, to mentor your employers, your employees, and that is it. I also promote education on a very high scale. So Nesford University is one of the
Yeah.
brands that I work with, and you can just reach out to me on LinkedIn. The handle Ifeanyi Inspires, and we'll be able to talk. So that is it.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Like, guys, please reach out to him because even before I signed up to do next for that, like I reached out to him. He was busy, but he gave me a lot of materials I needed. He guided me. He gave me a lot of information that helped me because it wasn't easy for me when I started because I wanted to do a program. I'm like, how do I even start? So he is an amazing person. I've known him for some time now. So connect with him and follow him. Enroll in his services, mentorship, and he's going to teach you the right things and show you the way to go because he's been there. He's gone through that process already. So officially, Dr. Ifeanyi, thank you so much. Thank you for coming today. And maybe next other time, I hope you can, come. Let's talk.
Of course, it's been a pleasure, and I really, really applaud what you're doing. It's really, a big sacrifice. It is not what every young person can do, and like I say, starting is one of the biggest fears. And for you to start this, a big kudos. I mean, a big thumbs up to you. Yeah, sharing
Thank
information
you.
and knowledge and providing a platform where people can learn and interact with, great minds is really, 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 really a big effort. So I appreciate you, and I know that this is just the beginning to
Of
global
course.
exploits. So
Yeah.
congratulations ahead of the time.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you
you.
very much. And to my viewers, kindly like this video and subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to share. And I'm going to link his social media contact and everything that you can connect with him in the description. So check the video description and get all the details. And I hope to see you next time. Have a great day.